arcane interplay of the predeterminate noumena, those that neither affirm nor negate their own contingency, we encounter the concept of the heteroglaucic singular. Unlike the synthetic unity of apperception, which Kant naively shackled, to the spatio-temporal finitude of human cognition, the heteroglaucic singular obliterates all such contextual limitations by suspending the dialectic of presence and absence in a state of irresolute indeterminacy. It does not exist in the vulgar sense, for existence presupposes the linearity of epistemic resolution. Instead, it anti-exists, a self-negating potentiality that perpetuates its own dissolution through the ceaseless recursion of intra-ontological recoil. This recoil, the katadiaphoric loop, is not a movement but an anti-movement, a voiding of voids that engenders the metaformal condition we may provisionally call resonance. Yet this resonance is neither vibration nor oscillation. It is a condition of absolute internal differentiation, wherein the elements that constitute its structure are simultaneously annihilated and constituted by their own impossibility. To say that this resonance is would already betray its irreducibility to the framework of predicative grammar. For the heteroglaucic singular, even the linguistic act of positing is an intrusion of profane linearity into the sanctified domain of infinite fracture. The resonance then gives rise to what we may term trans-liminal stratification, a hierarchy without hierarchy, layers of potentiality in which each stratum constitutes the obliteration of the strata beneath it, yet only by virtue of their continued non-coherence. Trans-liminal stratification is neither a unity nor a multiplicity. It is a subjective misrelation between what cannot be related. It does not synthesize its elements, it devours them. And yet, paradoxically, this devouring is the only mode by which they subsist. To approach such a structure from the perspective of cognition is to court annihilation. The human mind, burdened as it is by the illusion of coherence, cannot endure the cataclysmic unveiling of its own contingency within the trans-liminal stratification. Herein lies the ultimate error of all prior philosophies, from the pre-Socratics to Derrida. They presumed implicitly or explicitly that the rational faculty could grasp its object. But to grasp is to limit. It is to impose the finitude of spatial representation upon that which exceeds representation entirely. Thus the heteroglaucic singular resists not only comprehension, but the very pretense of approach. To attempt to comprehend it is to enact the catastrophe of comprehension, wherein the mind collapses into itself, rendered inert by its own inadequacy. This collapse, far from being a failure, is the singular's ultimate triumph. It reveals the impotence of conceptual thought while simultaneously affirming the inexhaustibility of the real. If the heteroglaucic singular cannot be comprehended, then how might it be encountered? The answer lies in the paradoxical praxis of metaphysical negation. This praxis, which I term eschatoclastic withdrawal, entails a radical renunciation of all epistemic frameworks, a turning away from the very act of turning away. It is not an act, but an anti-act, a movement into stillness that nonetheless annihilates stillness itself. Through eschatoclastic withdrawal, the subject does not encounter the singular. Rather, the subject is obliterated, rendered a non-subject, whose only mode of being is the negation of being. And yet in this negation, the non-subject becomes the site of resonance, the locus wherein the stratifications of the trans-liminal unfold themselves in their full, terrifying profundity. To speak of this praxis is already to betray it, for it operates beyond language, beyond thought, beyond even the possibility of communication. It is the silence that speaks, the void that resonates, the impossibility that renders all things possible. The heteroglaucic singular, in its trans-liminal resonance, offers no comfort, no solace, no redemption. It is a catastrophic unveiling, a relentless obliteration of all that we hold dear. Yet in this obliteration lies its beauty, for it reveals with devastating clarity the infinite potentiality of the real, a potentiality that defies all comprehension, all categorization, all limitation. To stand before the singular is to confront the abyss of one's own finitude, to gaze into the endless fracture of being and anti-being alike. It is to be undone undone, remade, and undone again ad infinitum. And in this ceaseless cycle of annihilation and reconstitution, we glimpse the true nature of reality, a fractured infinitude that resonates eternally within itself, a sublime and terrifying mystery that no mind can grasp, no language can capture, and no soul can endure.